I got a few more Halloween cocktails up my sleeve, so let's go. Welcome back to Old Fashioned Ways. I'm Doc Martinez, and I love the month of October. I love making Halloween-inspired old fashions. So today we are making the Headless Horseman. Now this one's actually going to be made directly in the glass. I have a skull glass here, you know. Maybe that's the head of the Headless Horseman, right? Let's set this up here. So this one's going to require some orange juice simple syrup. Yep, orange juice simple syrup. It looks like orange juice, but I promise you we have reduced this down to a simple syrup. Wanted to use about a half an ounce of this, so you can add more if you want it sweeter, but I'm just adding about a half an ounce. Look how thick that is. My wife, I was going to stop it early, but my wife said, nope, that's not a syrup yet. You need to bring that down some more, make it thicker like a syrup. So she helped me do that. The only thing is, be careful. If you overheat or do it too quickly, you can actually make it bitter, but this one's nice and sweet. We're also going to be adding a few dashes of Angostura bitters. I'm actually going to just add one Angostura bitters here because it adds a lot of flavor with just one dash. But we're not stopping there. We're also going to be adding some orange bitters. We're going to do a dash of this. For my buddy Gnome, an extra dash. There we go. Now this one's called the Headless Horseman because we're using pinhook. I thought of Blantons as well. So pinhook or Blantons. I have never tried pinhook before, so I thought, why not try it today? Perfect opportunity for that. So let's pop this baby open. Oh, beautiful, beautiful pop. 2 full ounces of this. Oh yeah. And you know what? Since I've never tried this before, I'm gonna give myself just a tiny pour to taste this before I even taste this. Ooh, it smells pretty good. Ooh, nice bourbon there. I like it. All right, so we're gonna stir this up a little bit, chill it in this glass. Just want to stir until you can kind of feel the glass chill a little bit. This drink will get better and better as it gets cooler and as you're drinking it. So make sure not to over chill it now. We're almost done. So this recipe calls for a little bit of ginger ale. So the recipe calls actually for like 2 ounces. I'm just putting a little bit on the top of that just to add a little bit of that flavor to it as well. I did use this to kind of garnish it, just to add a little bit more, kind of like somebody's head hanging there, you know. So let's go in for this taste. Let's taste this one. Wow, very unique, very different in the fact that you taste the bourbon, but you have that bitter sweetness of the orange juice and then that bitterness of the bitters, because the Angostura actually comes out pretty good in this with the other 2 dashes of bitters. I think they're coming through. So it's a very unique combination, but orange does go very well with bourbon. So I like the way it's kind of separate, but kind of melds together at the end. Ooh. So very, very, very different old fashioned I've made. I like it. I like sometimes different. The orange just comes out, bringing out, highlighting the orange in the bourbon, but the bourbon flavor still in there. And then that little bit of bitterness at the end. Well, my friends, thank you for joining me on another journey down my Halloween old fashioned rabbit hole. To our next journey, my friends. Cheers.